Deep breath. You're on A Course in Miracles, where we come together every morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time to study, to practice, to be transformed, to raise our own consciousness and that of the world. We know that this is no selfish endeavor. We know we are here for a higher calling and a greater purpose. And we answer that call with a resounding yes. Breathing deeply as we clear the mind. Breathing deeply as we still the body. Breathing deeply, we allow. We welcome and honor the presence of all the benevolent beings on this side and that side of the veil, the ascended masters, our ancestors who live on in us, and all those who have gone before us. We honor their life, essence, and spirit here now. And we open to a new way of being, perfected, whole, walking in soul splendor. And as we open our eyes to engage A Course in Miracles, following along either in the Blue Book or online at acim.org, as we open our eyes to engage, we stay meditative on the inside. God morning, God morning, God morning. Welcome, you amazing, spectacular, magnificent being, you wonderful wonder, you incredible godling. Welcome. Lesson 158. Today I learned to give as I receive. Lesson 158. What has been given you? That's a good question. What has been given us? The knowledge that you are a mind, in mind, and purely mind. Whoa, sinless forever, wholly unafraid, because you were created out of love. Whoa, what has been given us? Knowledge. Knowledge of what? Of who we truly are. Knowledge that you are a mind. We go to the 7 Hermetic laws, and the first Hermetic law is all is mind. The knowledge that you are a mind, in mind, capital M, mind, and purely mind, that you are consciousness, sinless forever. You've never sinned. You could never sin. You could never be sinful. wholly unafraid. You can never be afraid. The real you, consciousness, cannot be afraid because you were created out of love. You cannot be afraid because you were created out of love, nor have you left your source, which means you are still consciousness existing in consciousness, remaining as you were created. This was given you as knowledge, which you cannot lose. You can't lose this knowledge. And once you wake up to this knowledge, you can't unknow what you know. So now you know it forever. It was given as well to every living thing, for by that knowledge only does it live. The only way the caterpillar can live is by the divine knowledge that it itself is consciousness and knows what to do. There is an infinite intelligence in and as and through all that lives that informs its living. Consciousness does that, and consciousness is love. You have received all this. What a gift. What a gift. No one who walks the world but has received it. Everyone has received the same thing. It is not this knowledge which you give, for that is what creation gave. We don't have to give this knowledge to anyone because consciousness gave it to everyone. Creation gave it to everyone. All this cannot be learned. It can't be learned. You already have it. What then are you to learn, to give today? So what are we giving if we're not giving this knowledge? Because consciousness source, the one, already gave it to everything that exists and lives. And by this it lives. By consciousness, your food is being digested in your belly right now. And the good stuff that you can use is being turned into a brain. Consciousness through you turns a sweet potato into a brain. I don't know how to do that. Consciousness does that, and consciousness knows exactly what fits and what doesn't, and it gets rid of what doesn't. Consciousness does that. It turns a stalk of broccoli into skin. You're a great alchemist. You have been doing magic all your life. The consciousness, that is source, that is rushing through and emanating from, and that we are living in, moving and breathing and having our existences in. This consciousness is an informer. This is not knowledge we can give. This is knowledge everything already has and that everyone already has. And it can't be learned. So the question is then, what are we giving? When we look at the course lesson today, I learned to give as I receive because I know what I received. I received this knowledge, but this is not the knowledge I'm giving. Our lesson yesterday evoked a theme found early in the text. Yesterday, into his presence would I enter now. We say it thousands of times to ourselves, into his presence would I enter now. Into his presence would I enter now. That's yesterday. Into his presence would I enter now. Yesterday's theme was a theme that was found early in the text. Experience cannot be shared directly in the way that vision can. The revelation that the Father and the Son are one will come in time to every mind. Oneness will come to every mind, all minds. Yet is that time determined by the mind itself, not taught. You see, this is knowledge that we awaken to, not something we can learn. You won't be able to watch a video on YouTube and find out exactly how to do this. You won't be able to read a book and find out exactly how to become God. It can give you tips. It can tell you, hey, meditate. Hey, wake up early in the morning. Hey, do yoga, do Tai Chi. Hey, maybe practice martial arts. Maybe go swimming in the water. Maybe put yourself in a cold bath. Maybe put yourself in a sauna, in a sweat lodge, and all the, drink some plant medicine. All these things spark the truth of who we are. All of them do. At the end of the day, it's going to come to your mind when you say it comes to your mind. The time is determined by the mind itself. You know, Dr. G has a saying, you can't do it wrong, you can only do it long. You can't do it wrong. You're playing on the playground, you're doing all kinds of wonderful things, and sometimes not wonderful things. You're making mistakes. One day you'll come home. One day. And whenever you do, the pearly gates are open in consciousness. The time is set already. It appears to be quite arbitrary. Yet there is no step along the road that anyone takes but by chance. There's no steps were taken by chance. It has already been taken by him, although he has not yet embarked on it. For a time, but seems to go in one direction. We but undertake a journey that is over. Yet it seems to have a future still unknown to us. You already took this journey. You are Neo, sitting on the bench, speaking to the oracle. Candy, said the oracle, and extends a piece of candy to Neo. Neo goes to reach one and then pauses and says, wait a minute. You already know if I'm going to take that piece of candy or not, she says. Wouldn't be much of an oracle if I didn't. He said, well, where's my choice in that if you already know what I'm going to do? She said, choice? You already made the choice. You're here to work out your choice. You're here to discover why you chose. Family, we already chose. You already chose it. You chose the candy. You chose the soul. You chose to come here. You chose it all. Now you're here to simply understand, why did I choose what I chose? And it's not really a journey, it's remembering. Time is a trick. The scientists have told us this. Space-time is doomed. Space-time is doomed. Time is a trick. Time is a trick. As Billy Carson said, there's no such thing as time, yet there are clocks. There is no such thing as time, yet we do have clocks. Where's time? Where is time? Go get it and put it on the table. You can't do it. Yes? Put it in a glass and drink it. Where is time? Can't get it because it doesn't exist. It's a trick. And so what do? We make a clock to tell us that things are moving in one direction, which they're not. Nothing's moving in any direction. This is the eternal now that we all are living in. We're living in an eternal now. Nothing's moving in any direction. Everything that is occurring right here, right now. So time is a trick. The clock, supposedly, the clock and the calendar, supposedly, are telling you that you advanced from third grade to now. And what we're offering here now is that you did not advance. You are the same being, infinite being, and you are living in one long eternal, I won't even say long, you're living in an eternal now. It's never yesterday, and it's never tomorrow. We say those words, yet they are not so. You never get to tomorrow, and you never go to yesterday. There are no things. Time does not exist. And what does exist is you here now, me here now, consciousness that is forever expanding, forever fulfilling, right here, right now. If you close your eyes and just simply tap into the infinite consciousness, you will see that it is simply a experience. It is simply life right here, right now. And all yourselves that have ever lived and that we think have ever lived or ever will live are here now in consciousness. All of it is here now in consciousness. Time is a trick, a sleight of hand, a vast illusion in which figures come and go as if by magic. Oh, they used to be here, now they're gone. Yet there is a plan behind appearances that does not change. There is something behind all of this that never changes. The script is written. When experience will come to end, your doubt has been set. When experience will come to end, your doubting has been set. When your whole doubting, the time that happens will come to an end. That time has already been set, for we but see the journey from the point at which it ended. Looking back on it, imagining we make it once again, reviewing mentally what has gone by. Now the course is talking quantum physics. Now the course is talking quantum physics and superpositioning, because what is actually happening is that you've already made the journey, or you're already there. You're already home. And what you're doing is you're looking back on it, thinking that you're still in it. You're not still in it. There's no such thing as time. It's one of the most difficult things for us to understand. Let's go to the ancient world for a moment. The ancient world did not think linearly. Let's go to all the Aboriginal people and all of the people who are indigenous people like the Maya. Yoruba people, Akan people, the Toltecs, the Teotihuacans, the Olmecs, the First Nations of North America, the Sioux, the Lakota, the Cherokee, all of our First Nations in North America, the Aboriginal people of Australia, Aboriginal people Kush, all of the ancient people who were also Aboriginal people. We still have Aboriginal people with us. None of them thought in terms of a line like we do. The line, and you're advancing on a line. The line, someone taught us that. It's not so. They all thought in terms of circles, not a line. A circular kind of world, cycles. And you're standing in one spot. You're not advancing older on a line from baby to 100 and some, and then you die. That's not happening. Yet that's what most people think is happening. And therein lies a ton of really big problems that you're going to have to get old. You're going to have to cancel. You're going to have to be not young. You're going to have to be not healthy, that's how I'll say it. You're going to have to be not virile, not vital. It's not a line. That's a trick. It's an eternal now, right here. Tap in, right here, right now. That is real. You know it's real because you're in it. Oh, it's real on all levels of being. A teacher does not give experience because he did not learn it. I didn't learn this. I can't give it to you. I can't give you experience. It revealed itself to him at its appointed time. This was all revealed to me at an appointed time, that's for sure. I didn't learn it and I didn't make it up. But vision is his gift. What can a teacher give? Vision. This he can give directly, for Christ's knowledge is not lost because he has a vision he can give to anyone who asks. Anyone who asks of the teacher can have the vision. The Father's will and his are joined in knowledge. The Father's will and the will of Christ, Christ's consciousness, these are all metaphors for great cosmic forces. Let's not think people. When you think Christ, don't think a person. A man from Judea, Galilee, that's a story. That's a story. I'll say more about that tomorrow when I do another episode of Forbidden Knowledge. Christians, you've been lied to. That's a story. Christ, consciousness, a universal cosmic force. Christ's consciousness is joined with a consciousness of source, which is joined with each and all of our consciousness. They're all joined. Yet there is a vision which the Holy Spirit sees because the mind of Christ beholds it too. Here is the joining of the world of doubt and shadows made with the intangible. Here is a quiet place within the world, made holy by forgiveness and by love. You just kept forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and loving and loving and loving and forgiving. And you would remember something that occurred seemingly 20 years ago, even though there is no time. The thought came to your mind right here, right now, and you washed it out of your mind with forgiveness. You didn't go and tell people, I forgive you. You didn't say, I'm not forgiving them. They didn't apologize. You didn't say, oh, I forgive these 90% of things in my life. I won't forgive this 10% of things because that was just too horrendous. That should have never happened. It should have never happened. It was terrible. No, you forgive. You keep forgiving. You keep washing the slate clean. You keep forgiving and you keep loving. You keep loving everyone until one day, boom. Here are all contradictions reconciled, for here the journey ends. Experience, unlearned, untaught, unseen, is merely there. It is your own experience. It is your own lived, felt, experiential knowing. No one can take that from you. You experienced it for yourself. No one can give it to you, and no one can take it from you. This is beyond our goal, for it transcends what needs to be accomplished. Our concern is with Christ's vision. This we can attain. This experience of your ascension, of my ascension, this is beyond the goal of the course, yet it will happen. Christ's vision has one law. Wow, the ego has many laws. The world has many laws, and it's making more laws right now. It does not look upon a body and mistake it for the Son whom God created. Christ's vision, the vision. This is the gift you can give to others, the vision of Christ. You can give this vision to others because once you behold this holy vision, you can give this vision. That here's the one law. You don't look at a body and think it's the person. We do not mistake the avatar for the real being. We do not mistake what our five senses are picking up, are detecting as antenna. We do not mistake that for truth. Here's Christ's vision. It beholds a light beyond the body. We're talking now auras, the light emanating from every being. It beholds a light beyond the body. The aura extends beyond the body. An idea beyond what can be touched. You cannot touch, and you can't touch consciousness. A purity undimmed by errors, that the purity and the light blazing from your being, who you really are, could never be tarnished by anything you do, or pitiful mistakes and fearful thoughts of guilt from dreams of sin. Fearful thoughts of guilt, fearful thoughts that some retribution is going to come get us because we did something bad. The seed of all self-sabotage. This vision of Christ sees no separation. There's no separation between you, I, the mountain, the worm, the ant, the antelope, the butterfly, the owl, the bat, the snake, the tree, the mountain, the rock, the river, on and on. Venus, Jupiter, the sun, no separation. And it looks on everyone, on every circumstance, all happenings and all events without the slightest fading of the light it sees. Christ's vision looks on war and does not see any fading of the light. Christ's vision can look on a murder, a mass murder, a multiple murder, and not experience any dimming of the light. The Christ vision can see abuse, neglect, and not see any dimming of the light. There's no fading of the light in Christ's vision. The light never fades. You see the light no matter what it's looking upon. It says it looks on everyone, even your haters, even your abusers, or the people you abuse. Put it both ways. It goes both ways, doesn't it? That's why you can't feel guilty about any of it. It looks upon people who would abuse you and people you would abuse. And it looks upon people who are angry, and it looks upon people who are in prison, and it looks upon people who are poor, and it looks upon people who are rich, and it looks upon people who are the soldier, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. It looks on all of them and sees nothing but the light. It says it looks on everyone. And then it says it looks on every circumstance you find yourself in. I got money, I don't got money, no fading of the light. It says not even the slightest fading of the light. People like me, people don't like me. Oh, this is a terrible situation. I lost my house, I lost my this, I'm not healthy, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't see any fading of the light. That's the Christ vision. It sees no fading, not even the slightest fading of the light. The Christ vision, the light does not flicker and wane based on what the circumstance is. This is so powerful. It says it looks on all happenings and all events, all the events of my life. I look upon them, and if I'm looking at them with Christ's vision, there is not a slightest fading of the light of me and all the people in the circumstance, and even the light in the circumstance. There's not a slightest fading of the light in Christ's vision. Meditate on that. that everything you see when you are looking with Christ's vision is lit up with the light, including yourself, lit up with the holy light of purity and truth, lit up with the holy light of our source, lit up with the holy light of love. And you might say, well, if you want the earth like that, you're going to be a simpleton. It's so naive. You'll just be naive. You'll just be a victim to everybody. There's some mean people out here in the world. You got to protect yourself, got to arm yourself. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe so. And the course didn't tell you to get rid of guns and locks and all that. Keep them and simply start seeing with the Christ vision and see what happens. Maybe all of this is hogwash. Maybe so. Because, I'm an Enneagram 7 with kind of a wing. Sometimes I wing 6 and sometimes wing 8. Wing 6 a lot. 6 is the skeptic. I don't really believe things. Super skeptical. I like to really test and test and test and test and go deeper, 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 deeper. And I found that the test and the Bible, the ACIM and the Bible, certain books can withstand my test, not because I think the Bible is a fact book and a history book. Hell to the no, because I understand how to look at the Bible. The Bible is a big book of energy and metaphor and allegory. And astrology and hidden meanings, at least 13 levels of meaning in one verse in the Bible. It's very, very, very cryptic. It's numerology, it's all that. So here you are with the Christ vision, and you're looking on all circumstances, all people, all events, and you never experience the slightest fading of the light. Wow. This can be taught and must be taught by all who would achieve it. If you've achieved it, or if you are achieving it, it is up to you to give it. Today, I would learn to give as I receive. Today, I learn to give as I receive. Today, I learn to give as I receive. Today, I learn to give as I receive. It requires but the recognition that the world cannot give anything that faintly can compare with this in value. The world can't give you anything that would even hold so much as, forget about a torch or a candle, not even a lit match. You strike a match, the world cannot offer you anything that can in any way compare to the Christ vision. It cannot. I don't care what personal development you do. I don't care what books you read. It doesn't matter how many crystals you have. It doesn't matter how many magic circles you draw or rituals you attend. Until you receive the Christ vision, we're calling it the Christ vision. It could be Buddha nature. It could be the mind of God. It could be anything you want to call it. We're not caught up in that it has to sound a certain way or look a certain way. It could be anything you want it to be. Okay? It doesn't fade. That once you are getting glimpses of the light, the aura, the Christ light, that you give it. So nothing the world has can in any way compare with this in value, nor set up a goal that does not merely disappear, but this has been perceived. When you perceive this, you will not be going for all the other goals because you will have attained the ultimate goal, enlightenment. Enlightenment. You live in the light. And this you give today. See no one as a body. I can do that. I can do that. I can do this. You can do it. See no one as a body. Don't look at booties or hair or head or tits or noses or elbows or feet or shoes or what they're wearing or how they're talking or how tall they are or short they are. Are they gay or are they straight or are they trans or are they bi or are they older or are they younger? Are they from China or they're from... Stop it. Ooh, what an exercise this will be today. See no one as a body, and probably 90% of your complaints will disappear. Because you don't like this, and you don't like that, and you don't like how this looks, and you don't like how they do that, and you don't like, I don't like how they. All of that will disappear as you are beholding only the Christ light. The light. That's all you're beholding is the light. And sometimes people say to me, as I began practicing this a long time ago, I practiced, okay, let me not look at a body. Let me just look beyond the body to the light. No matter where I am and what I'm doing, including myself. You can't see it in other ones or in the world if you haven't seen it in yourself. Let me just see the light and not see bodies. Wow, a lot changed. And then people started saying things to me like, didn't you see what happened? Did you? No, didn't see that. Not because you're ignorant, not because you're not present and aware, not because you're not fully there. It's because you were looking at the light, you were not looking at the representation, the body avatar. A lot more people would be in love if they didn't look at avatars so much. Staring at the avatar, do I like this avatar? When the question ought to be, is this expression of consciousness an agreeable expression of consciousness with the expression of consciousness that I am? See no one as a body. Wow, this is a great exercise. See no one as a body. Greet him as the Son of God he is, acknowledging that he is one with you and you in holiness. See everyone as simply one with you in holiness, no matter who they are, no matter what. Thus are his sins forgiven, for Christ has vision that has power to overlook them all. I'll give you an example. In this country, in America, there's a big story. Well, there's a lot of stories in America. And the big story that I came up, I'll tell you this, one of the stories that I was bred on. One of the big stories I was bred on is that people grabbed my ancestors from Africa, from their home, and forced them onto slave ships and chains and brought them over here and worked them, this whole slave trade. And for a couple of hundred years, America was built by all the slave Black people. Now, that could all well and true be facts. It could be. So there are a lot of Black people, and I grew up with one, not all of them, some. I grew up with my uncle who was Black Panther, and he hated white people. That was the story. So therefore, when we were looking on a body, something in me never that didn't land on me as truth. It never did, even when I was little. It just never did. So when he would look at a body, if the body was a Black body, it was agreeable to him. If the body was not a Black body, it wasn't agreeable to him. I couldn't quite understand that because even as a kid, I knew something wasn't quite right about that because we had all kinds of friends. And when I went to high school in New York City, I went to high school with everyone. Korean friends, friends from Japan, friends from China, friends from France. Everyone was in our school. We were in a melting pot. Everyone. And they were no different than me. We all know this. We were trained to look at bodies. So when we say that thus his sins are forgiven him, for Christ's vision has power to overlook them all. You overlook all the things that you think people of that particular race or that particular creed or that particular color or that particular nationality or that particular fill in the blank. We overlook that. Many of us grew up with some kind of hate story on some group of people. I mean, the Black-white thing is just one of them. Oh, we have many of them, and we seem to have left no one out all over the world. This group of people doesn't like that group of people. That group of people doesn't like that group of people. Oh, we haven't left people out. Christ's vision goes beyond that. Don't see a body today. Don't see any bodies today. It's going to be a wonderful exercise. In his forgiveness, are they gone? So all the things that we think white people did, Black people, gone. All the things. I literally used to see the Elijah Muhammad, the honorable prophet Elijah Muhammad, who was a Nation of Islam. They literally used to call Whitey the devil. That literally was what they used to say. And it was very, very fascinating to me when I was little because the white people that I knew weren't fulfilling that role. It was very fascinating. That's what they said, but that wasn't my experience. And I had to go with my experience. Forgive people, forgive everybody every day. Forgive the middle passage, Black people. Just forgive it. Forgive all the white cops that killed Black people. Oh, I'm about to start another riot now. How about if we just forgave it? Forgive it. No, these are, oh my God, these crimes are unthinkable. They have to be paid for. Why? Aren't we paying for them with our peace of mind? It's too expensive. It's too expensive. I'm not willing to pay that price because I'm willing to forgive. I'm willing to be a Christ. For real, for real. Now, some people just say, yeah, I want to be spiritual until it comes to their very sacred, precious, held beliefs. And then we don't want to be spiritual anymore. We don't want to forgive everyone. We just want to forgive the people we want to forgive. We don't want to forgive everyone. And when we forgive, we're not forgiving because we think people did something wrong. We're forgiving because we are erasing the terrible memory we have of them in our own mind. It's an unwarranted memory. Unseen by one, they merely disappear because a vision of the holiness that lies beyond them comes to take their place. It matters not what form they took, nor how enormous they appeared to be. All these sins that we think people did to us, nor who seem to be hurt by them, they are no more. Is anyone having you in shackles right now? No. No, you're here now, beloved. That was a story people told you, and you're not even in it, and you're mad at it. You're not in it. You're living a lovely life, and you're probably eating food that maybe a white person made or a Chinese person made. I don't know, maybe you're eating vegetables today that an Indian person grew the food. Really, I think we need to stop looking at bodies so much. It's hard for me because I'm persnickety about bodies. This is going to be a good exercise for me today. And all effects they seem to have are gone with them, undone and never to be done. That all the effects of what you think happened during the slave trade, all the effects are gone because we write them out. We are the generation here to right the wrongs. We are the generation here to erase the shackles on people because they're living in a memory. Thus do you learn to give as you receive. And thus Christ's vision looks on you as well. This lesson is not difficult to learn. If you remember in your brother, you but see yourself. That's all we have to remember. Every time you look at a brother, every moment you look at a brother, a sister, sisters, brothers, and others, every moment you look at one, you are looking at yourself. If he be lost in sin, so must you be. If you see light in him, your sins have been forgiven by yourself. You have let yourself off the hook. Each brother whom you meet today provides another chance to let Christ's vision shine on you. Okay, I'm going into the store. I'm not going to see bodies. I'm going to go to the mall and practice this today. I'm not going to see bodies. I'm going to see chances for me to behold the light beyond the body and offer you the peace of God. It matters not when revelation comes, for that is not of time. You'll have the revelation, right? We've had the revelation. Everyone will have the revelation. Yet time has still one gift to give, in which true knowledge is reflected in a way so accurate its image shares its unseen holiness. Its likeness shines with its immortal love. What's happening is that you're extending immortal love and light wherever you go. So that's all you see. We practice seeing with the eyes of Christ today. And by the holy gifts we give, Christ's vision looks upon ourselves as well. That's what we give. We give vision. We give the gift of eternal vision. We give the gift of not seeing others as a body, as frail, as broken, as hurt, as abusers, as whatever we made up in our minds that they are. Deep breath. This is going to be a fun exercise today. I'm Reverend Valerie Love, also known as Kaisi, at your service. I'm done talking. Rainbow, how you loving?
Namaste. Loving what you're saying today, as always. We can all look through a telescope down here on Earth, and we can see beyond the stars. But folk down here, you're absolutely right. They can't see beyond a gender, a colour, or even an age. And I changed my avatar picture for you, just to let folks see. Your body is the match, but your light inside, the 7 chakras up your spine, that's what connects you to the divine. And I loved the question when I came in. You were talking about the Matrix movie. The question. Well, the question is clear. We're all here. And, I get folk coming to me for the self-discovery flow, and they'll say, but, it's because I'm black, or it's because I'm white, or it's because I'm young, or it's because I'm old, or it's because I've got these health problems, or.
No.
But the bottom line is, do you know bliss? And bliss is internal. Bliss is when you get past all the belief, all the things that you've been taught to believe, directly and indirectly. I mean, my wee hobby these days, well, for the last year actually, it occurred to me that obviously we're all part of nature, whether we can see it or not. And everything in nature works in a beautiful harmony. So I go tiptoeing into the Arabic-speaking rooms, and I think I know 4 words basically. And I'm not trying to learn the language. I'm trying to see beyond the belief that I see a language as separate. And it's amazingly amazing. I was in a room the other day, and the kids invited me up on the stage, and then I thought, I'm being a right chip, because I'm messaging them saying, look, I don't understand what he's saying, and you won't understand me. But these were doctors, psychologists, and very well-to-do, very good souls. So I was like writing fast as I could in the chat thing, you see. And then it occurred to me, even though I have a belief that I don't understand them, I was having very deep communications with them. And we all have this ability. And it showed me the depths of belief in me. Every belief is in your head. And when you let that go, and what you say about time is divine, certainly my experience is bliss is only in the golden moments of time. And I think it's like a default setting, basically, because we're not here to follow a ticky-tock man-made clock. We're here to rock. And the more and more we get past the duality, the more and more we see the beauty that's all around us in this reality. And I was studying the Rumi big time for a good while, but it was all about Shams. Shams was the one that awoke Rumi, because Shams was divinity. Shams, when Rumi believed he understood God, he would make him go and step on a frog, or he would make him go to a tavern and buy alcohol, making him think when he brought it back he was going to have to get drunk, etc., you see. And God is Shams. So when we seek love, we never find it. When we don't want it, it comes up and bites us in the backside, etc., etc. And you're absolutely right in terms of my experience. When we get into that frequency or vibe, there's so many names for everything these days. Frequency, resonance, reverence, all that sort of thing. It's all the same vibration. Vibration's all about the inner sensations. And when you can be at that place of peace, and not like a soldier guarding, a castle, when you can just see divinity in everything, literally, then you awaken, I believe. Well, that's what I believe I've got to so far. But, we're ever evolving. And it's like you were saying, the question is we're here. And there's no need for fear. Divinity couldn't be clearer. When we no longer live in hope, belief, and fear, that's when everything becomes clear, and we become our very own seer to a degree. But we all love surprises. And if it wasn't for surprises, the things that come to us synchronistically or coincidentally, what would be the point, you see? But we get these synchronicities or coincidences, as people call them. And a lot of people, they don't really look into what a name means. Like coincidence, for example. When two either random or unlikely points coincide at just the right time. Then that's when you feel your inner shine, the seventh chakra up the spine. Feeling the divine through, everything. And it's about just feeling, but feeling from a place of peace. No longer chasing. Because the more you chase, it's like a shadow. You chase a shadow, it'll run faster than you. But if you ever look at my avatar picture, you are the light, your body the match. And I'm somebody that, and I'm 55 years old. I've been all over the globe. I've studied psychology, sociology, numerology, astrology, biology. They just all rhyme all the time. Because they're all aligned when you see beyond the perceived beliefs, one thing separate from the other. The air that we breathe carries water. So the air is actually just a beautiful big sea. And it carries information, and it's the best conductor for the electrical magnetic energy that is you and me. And when we're at peace inside the seat, the heartbeat and the head, I don't know, it's just amazingly amazing. There are no words. It's like Rumi said back in the day, love is water of life. Get drunk every single moment of every single day. And you won't be going worried about pain. Tell me about
that. Oh, get drunk. Yes. Get drunk. Oh my goodness. I so love you, Rainbow.
I bet you love my avatar or just my voice, Faye.
The voice is a conduit for consciousness. Yes. I love the consciousness. Yes, absolutely. All of you. How about that? How about we love all of us, all of you. We love all. Yeah.
In a wee conclusion I came to yesterday, I'm curious as to what you would be thinking of this. Patience is faith. And it's like the air. Although we don't see the air, we all breathe, otherwise we wouldn't be in this reality. So to me, faith is patience, basically. I took somebody through the self-discovery flow not long ago, and he kept contacting me every day, excited as a excited thing, basically. And I kept saying to him, stop seeking. Just allow the feeling. Universe has got everything handled. It always has done. It's all fate. You can't be late for fate. But patience to me is faith. So what's your thoughts on that, faith?
That's a good one. That's a good one. There's a line from the Course that says, those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait, and to wait without anxiety. When I'm certain of the outcome, it doesn't matter when or how it happens. Certain of the outcome. Yeah. Yes. I concur. Faith is certainty. And patience was a big one for me. I just had a big dose of patience the other day in the airport. Big dose of patience. And here was my dose of patience. My husband, I don't have a husband. My son and I were coming down here to Mexico to my home from Miami. And when we got here to Mérida, Mexico, they had rearranged the airport. So it was different. It was like spirit, like the angels, the ones who are our teachers and helpers and guides. Sometimes they're mischievous. Sometimes they move things around and see what you're going to do, right? They had reconfigured the whole airport. So when I landed, it looked nothing like what I was used to. Here we go, right? So this is not me being present to where things are right now. I was looking at things that I was used to. So because I was not being present, not paying attention to the little sign, baggage here, I go through, put my papers, get your little papers we go through immigration. And then after immigration, we go through declaration, declaring if there's anything, so forth and so on. And we did that without the bags because I thought that the bags would be, see, in my mind, I was somewhere else. I was being impatient. I was just ready to get home. And because of that, we got to the part where it was point of no return. I thought the bags were on the other side of it. And I'm a global traveler. I travel all over the world. Why wouldn't I have thought? Why wasn't I present? All good. I was in a lovely learning lesson. Got to the point of no return, then we could not go back and get the bags. So told the gentleman there, oh, CC. And then he's speaking to me in Spanish, and I'm using my Spanglish. Sure enough, they said, oh, yeah, you can have your bags. You can't go back in there because, of course, it's a secure area. Yeah, you can have your bags. You have to wait until everyone's bags are cleared, and then we'll bring the bags out to you. My type A New York moving fast self had a great, just pour up the pitcher, just drink the whole pitcher of patience, just the whole pitcher, drink it. And the thing that calmed me was knowing I was in a great lesson and knowing the bags are there, they're bringing them in a second, right? Come on now, why would I even be concerned, right? Why would I even be concerned? So there you have it. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Patience and faith go together because we're not, if whenever I'm impatient, it's because I doubt the outcome. I doubt the outcome.
But you know as well as me and everybody else in this room, every time we have an expectation, we think, yeah, we know how it all works now. The universe goes and changes all the personal growth, you see. But it's all working for us and never against us. It's all working in a beautiful harmony. And I'm very surprised you got your knickers in a twist in the airport, by the way. I'll tell you this, vulnerability in me. 7 years ago, I was coming back from Peru and I had 8 or 9 hours, I think, in Miami airport. And I sat outside having cigarettes all the time. And I kept watching the shuttle bus passing in front of me every 5-10 minutes, And I did not have the faith in me to jump on that bus and head down to Miami Beach. I really wanted to. But I just sat there thinking, well, if I go down there, I'll end up getting arrested or lost or something, or I'll miss the bus to get back. And then I'll miss the flight, you see. I'd be a very different soul if I was sat in that airport today. This is the beauty of growing in many ways when we're outside the fear inside the mind. It's divine.
Mm-hmm. I have to say that travel is one of my greatest teachers, Rainbow, because it causes me and calls me to be present to the right now moment. And when I'm not, okay, got a nice little lesson. A reminder, just a loving reminder, because my lessons come so gently because I desire a softer life, a softer life than what I've lived before. Yeah.
For me, the conclusion I came to was we all rush to the destination. So I see the destination in terms of this reality is a great big meal at the end. And what good would that meal be if we didn't enjoy the ingredients as it's being served constantly through all the synchronicities? Mm-hmm. Because that's where the growth lies, the becoming. And like you said, when I said about the beginning, when I came into the question, well, the word question is clear to me, experience. And it's amazing when you're not stuck in your cranium with belief and fear and all those sorts of things. Mm-hmm. It's bliss.
Bliss. And I'm going to remember that next time I'm in the airport. I am not going to get my knickers in a twist. I'm not. I'm in a twist.
And you've got nice knickers these days. I heard you talking about that one
day. Oh my goodness. Could you tell us the room you were in? What was the room you were in when they were talking about the language that was not discernible by the five senses, yet you knew the language? Where were you?
It was Arabic. I've been going in and out for about a year now, and you know what it's like. You go into the audience and the frequencies are like honey in my ears, basically. So if I say as-salam alaikum, it's like honey on my tongue. And I just loved, I could spend 4.5 hours in their rooms. But then they invited me up on the bloody stage, and then they all started speaking English, you see. And that kind of got in the way. But language, it doesn't do it, you see. It's just being in harmony and no longer believing you can't understand what you're hearing. And then you suddenly can hear, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Arabic. You know, as you were speaking that story, it reminded me of when we were in our inner visions experience, and we were sort of like in divinity school, only not. It's just so people can put in their mind what kind of school this is, an intensive 4-year training, really deep inner work for the service to humanity. And it's called Inner Visions Institute for Spiritual Development. It is an incredible school. Go to it. So when we were in our Inner Visions experience, somewhere around the 3rd year or so, we were preparing for being ministers. And so one of the things that was an exercise that we had is to go to all the holy houses that we could get to. So I think there were 9 holy houses, or rituals or worship or devotion experiences. So we had to go to a powwow with our the First Nations. We had to find a Hindu temple. We had to find an Islamic mosque. We had to find different kinds of Christian churches, like a Catholic church and a Baptist church and an Episcopal, because they're all very different. You know, the Catholics is very and all the pomp and circumstance. You go to the Baptist churches like, and Jesus, and the Bible says, people running around getting slain in the Holy Ghost. And then you go to a Methodist church, and it's we sing a song, we have a message, we leave in 1 hour. We're not all day churchers around here, so it's all these. And we had to go to a Jewish synagogue on a Saturday, on the Sabbath. It was amazing, so amazing. And I promise you, every holy house I went to, they just welcomed me in with open arms. I'm telling you, you can go to a Jewish synagogue, when they looked at me, they were like, I don't know what they were thinking. They were probably like, who blew this Black lady in here on a Saturday morning? And they just scooped me right on up, shared the book with me. It was all in Hebrew. They told me how it was being written and read from right to left, and shared everything with me. All the places they gave me food, so we were at the Hindu temple this time. And a couple of my sisters went with us. We went together that had the same exercise, because we need to put ourselves in the feet of other people. You need to go to their worship experience and not be so attached to your own devotional worship experience. And so we were at the Hindu temple, and this was two experiences that they were not speaking in English. They did not speak in English in the Jewish synagogue either. It was in Hebrew, the one I went to anyway. The Hindu temple, they were speaking in, I believe, Hindi, or maybe they were speaking another language other than that. So we're in the Hindu temple. They have no chairs. There are yoga mats on the floor. There are this incredible shrine at the front with the gods of the Hindu pantheon. And then along the side of the wall, there were stations where you could go and burn incense to deities. And the deities were at the front. Everyone who came in, they were called devotees. And you come into the Hindu temple, you're called a devotee. You leave your shoes at the door. They have a place. Devotees, leave your shoes here. Devotees, the food hall is this way. Devotees, enter here. Devotees, I love that they called them devotees. That was just so beautiful to me. And you go to the front and you put your oranges and your apples and all of the offerings that you have. And then you sit down somewhere in the yoga mats. And there were people, even when I was in India, 60, 70, 80, 90, maybe older than that, people sitting on the floor, no problem, cross-legged, chanting and singing and all of that. No one needing chairs, no one needing assistance. And so here it came. And so we were gathered in there, and we were early, and we put our shoes, and we did everything they told us to do. When you go to a holy house, go with deep respect and honor, just like we did when we were at the Grand Mosque in Abu Dhabi. Just wear the clothes they tell you to wear, go in complete honesty and openness and honor and openness. Well, we're sitting there on yoga mats on the floor, and I was just reflecting on how my Baptist family would deal with this, because they have the pews. You have to sit on the pews in church for a long time, hours. Anyway, I looked around, and here came the holy man of the house. He was wearing the saffron robes, and he almost glided in. He had this aura about him that he wasn't even on the planet. It seemed that the man looked like he didn't even walk. It looked like he glided in from the back of the place to the front and sat down. And they were playing music, they were playing more like that, like the ancient music that you would hear in like India or something like that, with a guitar and different instruments, like a drum with like the strings, like shh, that kind of thing. It was amazing. It's amazing. And they were singing songs, because songs are always part of devotion. And the incense is wafting through the place. Oh, it's heavenly, it's heavenly, it's heavenly. And he sat down and he said, devotees. And then he looked at us and he said, welcome. And he looked at us with love, great love and curiosity. And he said, welcome. We have visitors. He was so happy that we had visitors among all the Hindu people that already knew what to do. And we clearly did not know what to do. So we were just sitting there pretending that we knew what to do. We were just doing everything that everybody else was doing and trying not to make a faux pas. Trying not to commit a faux pas. So anyway, he says, devotees, welcome, and visitors, we're so happy you're here. Tell us about you. And we said, okay, well, we're ministers in training, and we're here to understand what you do. We want to know. And he was so happy. He said, I don't know how many church folk do this. I don't know if they do this. It brings tears to my eyes, what it caused to come forth in us. And to this day, I can go to any holy house to let me straight in. They were kind of chuckling at the Abu Dhabi Grand Mosque, because my ankles were showing. They don't stop me at the door. They let me right straight on in. Other people, they would stop them at the door. Nope, your ankles are showing. Nope, this and this. I just walked in. And it could be the aura. It could be, I love holy houses all over. Never met a holy house I didn't love. So anyway, he says, what I'm going to say is in another language. It's spoken not in English. Yet at the end, I will translate it for you. Okay, I will translate it for you. Oh my goodness, who's her Namaste Life on YouTube says, I don't understand a lick of Hindi, but their worship services are beyond words. You definitely get the message of love and light. That's what happened. So he was speaking, and the whole time we knew exactly what this man was talking about. And he was not speaking English. We knew exactly what this man was talking about. We were all into it. The whole thing, as he was talking. And then when it's completed, He spoke to us in English, and he gave us a detailed translation of what his message was, and we had gotten the message. And the more he was talking, the more it was like we understood the whole thing. The whole thing, his whole message, and I remember it to this day, and this was only a long time ago, probably 20 years, almost 20 years ago. He said that you are the light. You are an instrument of the light. That we didn't make the light, we're from the light. The light was already here, the light will always be here. And that you, as an instrument for the light, we get to be plugged in like a lamp plugged into the socket, and then you shine. How do you plug yourself in? Inside. Plug yourself in and be lit up like that lamp. And the whole thing was about light, and it was about love and connection to source. He said the same thing that our Baptist friends would say. He said the same thing that our Jewish friends, Hebrew friends would say. He said the same thing that our Islamic friends would say. Stop fighting.
Absolutely. I started life as a Christian, and then I went down the route of Hinduism, Buddhism, and now I'm being drawn to Islam. But they're all the same. They all speak about the same. The love and the light. It's amazingly amazing. And we're all on the same journey. We're all on the same path. And we're just at different points. And those that are moving forward like yourself, sharing what you know allows everybody to grow. And that's just amazingly amazing.
That's amazing. What's speaking to you about Islam? I'm curious. Islam is so beautiful.
Well, it was all a wee bit synchronistic as usual, you know what I mean? I was selling some stuff on the Facebook feed, and I had a guy due to come over the next day. And then I had this thing come up on my Google feed out of nowhere, obviously, and it was saying, check out your name on a Hindu or a Vedic astrology chart. So I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound, it was free, you know what I mean? So I put my name in, you see, and it blew me away, because it said that my name's Alan, and my name's Scottish. I'm glad it didn't say English. So it said my name was Celtic, Hindu, and Muslim. And that blew me away, because I had a fear of Islam, basically, because on TV it shows that, you know, they see me as, you know, a white infidel and all that sort of thing. And I moved beyond that fear. And the guy that arrived the next day from Slough, it was, over the road, turned out to be from Saudi Arabia. So I'm explaining to him, you know, what I had just learned, and he was fascinated with me, and I was fascinated with him, you see. And then the next thing, he goes to his car with a big grin on his face, and he brings me back a Quran in English. And I tried to read it, but it was kind of making me bleed for the eyes, you know what I mean? It was like, you have to do this, you have to do that. That's how I was taking it anyway. But when I moved beyond all of that and went into the rooms on this platform, it was just divine. And but I want to make it clear to everybody, I'm not saying I think Arabic's any better than Christianity or Hinduism or anything like that. I see my route, my journey, and that God's teaching me it's no one thing, you see. Because I was a heavy duty Christian back in the day until 32 years old. I was constantly being asked to become a minister and stuff, and I kept telling them to shove it up their backsides because I could see the disparity in terms of, you know, we're all equal, but men are in charge. And I didn't like that, so I didn't want to become a minister for that reason, you see. And then I got knifed one night in a park, and where I went to, and the death experience wasn't like anything that I was teaching or believing, more importantly. So I turned away from all religion for many, many years. But then I synchronistically went to Glastonbury and I found out where it had gone, existed and everything, and the death experience. And what I would say is, every day for 32 years of my life, I prayed to God, and my prayers were always answered, synchronistically. And I had no doubt about that whatsoever. But after I had the death experience, I stopped praying. But I was still getting all the synchronicities every day. I just wasn't asking for them, if you know what I mean.
That's right.
And then I got to, because of my death experience, that kind of pushed me into Hinduism. So I'm actually a member of the local Hindu organisation in my area. I think they'll think I'm off my head. But they're lovely people, they really are. And then I was led to, Islam. And it's just all about love.
Yes.
And they all teach the same. They might not, exhibit it every day, but nobody's perfect, obviously. But ultimately, we're perfect when we get by the old beliefs and fears inside. But I just believe that, source energy, God, Shiva, Allah, whatever you want to call Yahweh, a dog or a frog. Everything is the source of where we came from, basically, and we're the essence of that, obviously. And for me, I'm more and more becoming awoken to the fact that that essence is also me. And it just makes me see the world in a magical way, literally.
Mm-hmm. It's really a universal thread that goes through all spiritual traditions and all religions. It's a universal thread.
Definitely, because it's divine. And, because it doesn't make sense to me, as I'm sure it doesn't to other people. Like, Western religion teaches God sent his only son. Well, that's bunkum. We're all God's children. We're all essence of it, you see. And it didn't make sense to me that anybody that didn't follow Christianity and recognize Jesus as their saviour, etc., would go to the burning place downstairs, you see. And it doesn't make any sense to me that in Islam they say, unless you're converted and believe in Allah, you'll go downstairs to the burning place. I don't think Hinduism has that, duality. But ultimately what they all preach is the same, yes. Mm-hmm. Love.
Yes.
And that love comes from the inside out, like that kids' movie. And it's fact. And it's when we stop seeking and just allow ourselves to start feeling, go through the potion of emotion, and then that's when your soul hits its own ocean. And then you see the harmony. And the harmony also shows consistency. And all of that premise, I believe, on my soul is based on one thing and one thing only: love.
Yes.
And love's as light as a dove. Stronger and more beautiful than the best Italian or Persian leather glove. It just is. And is bliss. And it's always available internally. It's like peace, they all talk about world peace and all the rest of it, but how many people can genuinely say they feel the peace internally?
Yes.
And that's when the changes start to occur. It's like love. When you start loving yourself in a natural way, you start to be able to love everybody else, obviously. When you stop judging yourself, you stop judging everybody else, etc., you see. And that's the golden thread that I see throughout my time in this reality. Not right away, obviously. I had to go through multiple hero journeys, the same as everybody. But the more and more that I seek now, but I don't on my soul, I just experience as things are unfolding, and it makes life so much more easy. It's kind of like being at the movies and sitting back and enjoying life unfold. Like a movie, really. Mm-hmm. Because everything's fate, like I say. You can't be late for fate. Mm-hmm. And it's just being in harmony internally. And it's magical, literally.
So magical. on YouTube and Facebook. We are concluding the live stream for today. ACIM is here every day, Monday through Friday. Actually, I say Monday through Friday. It's not, it's every day. Every day we do this. We're doing this for 365 days to cover every A Course in Miracles lesson, to be uncrazy and to share the light and love. It's not a religion, no dogma, no doctrine, no rules, only love. I'm Reverend Valerie Love, ValerieLove.com. See you tomorrow.